What's up, fam? So we have a story here of a brother out of the great state of Texas who went viral on TikTok because he stated that he has to work overtime because he's paying what he feels, I guess, is an astronomical amount of child support. I think he was just venting, like a lot of people do. They vent, and the best way to do it is, go online to where they actually talking to themselves, but talking to the world, and probably not really expecting a whole lot of kickback, but he got a lot of kickback. So what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna watch two of his videos that he posted. One, he's got the original post, and then the second one is his reply to everybody going after him. But before we do that, I want to talk about taking DNA tests, which is something I hope this brother did before he started shelling out this money for this child support. Now, if there's a question in your mind about paternity, that question doesn't just disappear. It sits there, it grows, and it can affect everyone involved. That's why EasyDNA offers fast, confidential paternity testing you can do right from home. They send you a kit, you take a simple cheek swab, send it back, and in a short time, you get a clear, accurate result. No courtroom drama, no public scenes, just private, professional answers. If you need certainty for legal reasons, for personal peace, or just to move forward, I've got a direct link in the description below. Click it, order your kit, and get the truth. Because when it comes to fatherhood, you deserve facts, not doubts. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
I work overtime in order to afford my child support. I pay every month. I pay $1,500 and $1,521 and like 65 cents in child support. That comes off the top. That happens. My baby mamas get paid before I do. So in order for me to be able to do anything else, pay my rent, feed myself, put gas in my goddamn car, I have to work overtime. The game is the game.
Now, I believe this brother was just venting. I don't think he was like complaining about it because, like you said, the game is a game. I mean, that's what he chose to do. He chose to have these children, and it's children because he said in his video that his baby mamas get money before he do. Well, that's just how child support goes, especially when you have a regular job. Now I'm looking at the background and I'm seeing it's looks like he works in a warehouse. Okay. Because I see that big ass fan, and that's what it's called, a big ass fan. I used to work in a warehouse, for about 13, 15 years. So I know it looks kind of clean, but I don't know what kind of warehouse he works in, but it looks like it might be air conditioned. But anyway, looks like he works in a warehouse and say he got to work 60 hours a week just to survive. So I'm thinking, he's not making a whole lot of money per hour. So 60 hours a week, which means 20 hours of overtime. So he's making time and a half. Them 60 hours is kicking his butt, not just for the child support, but the taxes. Because anytime you work over, I'm gonna say, shoot, yeah, you work like over 50 hours a week, what I'm saying? Taxes will eat your tail up. I mean, seriously. I mean, you don't get taxed on the whole thing. You get taxed more on the end part, but still, them taxes will eat your tail up working overtime. So I'm looking at some of the comments and they said, well, get some rest and drink water so you can clock in. 5 kids, that's 300 per kid. That doesn't even cover a week of daycare. And it doesn't. I mean, 5 kids, in the second video, he's gonna get into more detail because I had questions too. I didn't know where he was living. We didn't know how many kids he had. Didn't know how many baby mamas he had. So I sure definitely want to know that. It said that's unfortunate. Have a great shift. And it said, imagine how much money the full-time parent spends. I don't pay child support. I married my wife, then had kids, completely avoidable. By the way, not completely. I was married to the mother of my children, and the marriage just didn't work out. Got divorced eventually got put on child support for whatever reason. But so I mean, sometimes I mean, if you say it's unavoidable, like don't get married, don't have kids, yeah. But most people want to have children. I'm gonna say the majority of people want to get married, have a family, family work, family works out, and they be married, raise their children, and till the day they die. I don't think anybody gets into a relationship or a marriage looking to get out unless you're like a gold digger, just getting in so you can get them benefits and then burn off. That's the only thing I can think of, not getting in and getting out. But again, he had multiple baby mamas, so I don't know if he married all three of them. But anyway, is it somebody said who fought his dad? He said you didn't mention it was for 5 kids. That's nothing, which it really isn't. Shoot, what was this? I saw what was this show where they was talking to these guys who had multiple kids? Was it 2020 years ago? And this dude had like 20 kids and 13 baby mamas, and this fool was paying like $25 a month for child support because he was working like part time at Wendy's. I mean, you got some deadbeat dudes out there, and I just want to say, I see a lot of cases where a lot of these females or women try to seem like they victims, and I'm like, sometimes I can't feel sorry for them. Recently, I was blessed and lucky enough to attend a family court case. And while sitting in the hall waiting to go in, uh, it wasn't about me, but anyway, sitting in the hall waiting to go in, I saw it was this young girl out there who I guess there was child support cases were across the hall. One of the court people come out, talk to her, talk to the baby father, and the baby father was there with his mother. That's one thing I saw. 98, 95, 98% of everybody in that hallway was black, whether it was domestic violence, paying court fees, a child support. That's what that was on that, basically on that floor. They call them all together. They were saying, do y'all want to agree to pay or agree to some terms? And the baby daddy's mother said, well, like, no, we're not agreeing to that. And she had an attitude and like walked off. And I'm like, damn, why is he not talking? But again, where's the boys? Where's the baby daddy's daddy? Anyway. And I'm sitting here looking, so I'm sitting here being nosy, watching. The young girl, she started laughing, and she's talking to another lady who has nothing to do with that case, but she was nosy too. But she went up to ask the girl what was going on, and the young lady say she mad about something, this, that, and the other, but he been a deadbeat for like 6 years. And if I heard her right, she was saying that she's pregnant by him now. It's like, what in the hell? So that's what I'm saying. I can't feel sorry for some of these ladies because they have the same mentality. They have the same options, same ability to say no as we do. They make their own choices. They have that ability. And for some reason, the choices that they choose to make don't make sense a lot of times. But anyway, like I said, he got 3 baby mamas. So that means at least one of them, he has more than one child with. Not sure if he got like 3 children with one of the women or maybe 2 children with 2 of the women. I don't know, but somebody had enough sense to say, oh, we only gonna have one and that's it. But anyway, I want to go to the next video where he kind of, kind of replies to what everybody was saying. And let's see exactly what he has to say.
We're just gonna ignore the fact.
All right.
Boy, y'all got me in these comments crying. Hello, I'm Urus, the man of the hour. I don't understand what the problem is. I thought I could just come on my TikTok and make a video about how I feel about, my current situation. Wasn't even an opinion, it was just stating facts. But apparently my existence is enough to rile up the bitter baby mamas and fatherless women. So with that being said, I'm Urus from MySpace. And fun fact, I used to think I wasn't interesting enough to have a TikTok, and apparently that's not true at all. I just wanted to clear things up for the people who actually give a damn about what I got to say. Child support in Texas is based off a percentage. And there is absolutely nothing besides luck and persistence that will save you from being on child support. Not being a good person, not being the very best spouse that you possibly can be, not even listening and doing exactly what the
He said
motherfuckers
spouse, so maybe he's saying he was married to at least one of them.
tell you to do. Because once that woman wakes up and decides she don't want to be with your ass no more, that is it. Your ass is going on child support.
Not
Of
necessarily. Y'all could come to an agreement, but now if she just don't like you, or she's afraid that you are not going to take care of your children, then yeah, she's gonna put you on child support. Because I wasn't put on child support immediately after my divorce. Matter of fact, it was a few years. Yeah, it was a few years before she did that. So it's not automatically, but most likely it will happen like that.
course, I am suffering from the consequences of my own actions. You angry, bitter bitches. I hear you. I understand that. That was never the problem. That was not what we were talking about. If we're staying on topic, I just felt like talking about how much I was paying in child support and what I had to do in order to make all of that shit work. Because that's what TikTok is about, how I feel at the moment and what I feel like talking about. Y'all are just mean as fuck and need therapy. I am a stranger on the internet. You don't know me or my situation. I have 5 children with 3 women after being married for 12
Okay.
years.
Okay. So he was married to one of them. Okay. So I'm going
That's the long and
so
short
I'm going
of
to
it.
think that he probably had 12 being married 12 years. I'm going to say he had probably majority of his kids with his wife probably, and then probably one with each of the other one. But carry on.
There is some sexual discipline issues there. But more
Yeah.
importantly, what I was focusing on was the financial discipline issues, which is where the solution comes from. First is addressing the shit, and the second is working on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. I am trying to live my life paying $1,500 in child support a month. So with that being said, the solution to that, my solution, what I chose to do, is to work more often, be more creative with my financing, be more aggressive with my budgeting, and go back to school full time. I've been in school for I've been in school for 14 motherfucking years, but finish school, go back and get my master's, and get a better job at a 9 to 5, climbing the corporate ladder at somebody's hospital. I am not struggling. I am just tired, like anybody else would be in my situation, and felt like I could vent on the internet about it. I don't know why I thought I could do that without incurring the wrath of fucking TikTok, but that's where we are. Thank you for listening to this, if you actually made it all the way through. And follow the page. I am like this all the time.
Okay. Number one, I may have been wrong. The big warehouse, he might have been at Costco or Sam's somewhere buying bulky stuff, bulk food at a cheap price. That could have been where he was at because I see he got scrubs on. He said he been in school for 13 years, need to go back and finish. So I guess he's saying he has a bachelor's and want to go back and get his master's. So he's probably making a decent amount. He's talking about working in the hospital. He didn't say what he did in the hospital, but could he be a nurse? With 5 kids paying $1,500, man, that's he's still not making. I don't know. What could he be making? Let me see. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: like my story, I'll say once I became a nurse and once I became a nurse, I'll say I was paying anywhere between $700 and $800 a month for one child. Okay. No back child support, no nothing. It was just straightforward until she graduated. And then she went to college and started paying for that and whatever else was going on. So it's like, hell, I'm paying. It's like I'm still paying child support now. But anywho, like I say, with my story, like I say, paying that as a nurse, and that was in the beginning. And then once I started making more money, we went back. I think every 4 years the mother can go back and ask for an increase. Like Texas laws kind of changed to kind of help the dad a little more because she used to be, your child could be 17 years old and then baby mama put you on child support and you got to pay like 17 years of like in arrears. And I've seen that happen. But then they changed it to like you can only go back 4 years. In my case, they have to go back at all because in the divorce decree it said no child support will be due because I was taking care of my child. So I mean, child support came because my relationship status changed, but nothing changed about my father-in abilities at all. But that's neither here nor there. Also, like say recently they put a cap on like how much a person, a man would have to pay for child support. I think like 25, is it $2,500 a month, something like that? But they put a cap on how much child support you would have to pay as a father to the mothers. Like I say, trying to help out the father just a little bit more. I think the laws still need to be changed a little bit and revamped some, but hey, anything is better than nothing. But let me see. It says, I looked it up and it says in Texas, if a man pays a total of $1,500 a month for 5 children across 3 different mothers, he is paying an average of $300 per child. That is like really like, I mean, nothing. I mean, it really, especially within the days, saying climbing how much things cost $300. Can't even feed a child for $300 a month. Because Texas uses a multiple family justice guidelines table, his total child support is the sum of 3 separate court orders. Each order is calculated by taking a reduced percentage of his net income to account for the children in their other households. To pay a total of $1,500 for all 5 kids, his monthly net resource income after taxes is approximately maybe $4,000 to $4,200. This is just everything just across the board. You know what I'm saying? No rears, just across the board. It said he's probably making anywhere from 62 to 65. I ain't trying to put that man. Dang, I shouldn't put that man business out there like that. But anyway, so he's paying $18,000 a year for child support. It said how it's likely split. It said if he has 5 kids total, the total percentage of his income going to child support will hover around 35 to 37%. And say if you got mother one if she has 2 children, she would likely receive roughly 20% of his net income. If mother 2 has 2 children, because he's already paying for the first 2, percentage is further adjusted down to 17%. And mother 3, the last child would likely get a small percentage about 13%. Estimated payment $200. Basically, what them, and I've seen that happen before. I've known this one lady back in the day got pregnant by a married dude, and he was already on child support. And she thought he was making good money, I guess, at the time. We're talking about 15, 20 years ago, maybe. He was making good money at the time. And I guess she thought she was going to hit him up, you know what I'm saying? He was going to pay this child support and she's going to hit a lick. And that's what a lot of them do. Try to hit a lick on somebody with some money who married and they're finna get their money. And but what happened is she, it backfired on her because the dude was already paying child support on other children. So which meant that I think she may have got anywhere from $200 to $300 for her child at that time. And that's how it works. If whoever puts him on child support first is going to get the majority, like the full percentage. Let's say 30, 35%. Now, if somebody else comes and say they got children from him, what it's going to do is going to reduce the order from the first parent to where it equals out and so reduce it for the first parent so he can pay that second parent. And then if, like I said, another person comes and says that, it's going to be like, they trying to put them on child support, it's going to reduce those other 2 payments. So that third family mother can get child support. And I think it's a limited number of kids. I don't know if it's 5 or 10. I'm not mistaken. But he could have 20 kids out there. But he's only going to have to pay up to like 10 kids. I mean, he got to pay for all of them. but the percentage, the amount that he's going to pay is only going to equal up to him having like 10 kids. You see what I'm saying? So that's where the issues come in, and so deadbeat baby daddy, and he ain't got no money. Mama should have thought about it, who she, who she laid with and stuff like that. All that comes into play. So, like I say, in Texas, a parent's total child support obligation is generally tapped at 50% of the net resources, but for 5 children, the guidelines usually target around 40%, and at $1,500, he is effectively paying about 36% of his net pay. And also, don't forget the medical insurance. And then they say, shoot, they say if he was making minimum wage for 5 kids, he would be paying anywhere from $450 to $550 total for child support. There's a lot of broke dudes out there. They got a bunch of kids out there who ain't taking care of their children, which is, which is sad. But it happens. So here's the thing. I'm thinking what he did was a PSA, but what he said in the second video, he should have said in the first video. Now he's working 60 hours. He's paying his child support, so most likely he is up to date. I know some cats who used to work overtime, and they was in arrears. They had to pay them arrears. They started coming out of their check, and they said they ain't got no money. And then they was like upset. Then they was like went from that much deadbeat to very much deadbeat, and quit their jobs and stuff and trying to find jobs that pay cash. You got dudes like that. The problem is a lot of guys don't know how the laws work when it comes to child support. Number one, if you know she's going to put you on child support, and I've said this in videos prior to this one, go down to the child support office, get the case number, get you some envelopes, get you whatever you need to know, and start putting money on the books before that order is finalized, because it's going to take some months for that first order to finalize. And while you're sitting there waiting, your arrearage will start adding up, especially after that first hearing y'all go to. That's when it's going to start. So it's going to be like from the time that she applied, you go to that first judge, and that judge said, well, this is what we're going to start it off with. Boom, it goes back to when she applied. So then when you go and finally see the main judge or the head judge, and she says, or he, well, really most time it's like she, but when they say what the order is going to be, it goes all the way back to the beginning, added, tacked on to whatever else you already ain't paid yet. And now you in the arrears, and you wonder how in the heck I'm in the arrears, and y'all ain't start taking out my check and taking money out of my check until a month from now. You know what I'm saying? But this has been going on for 6 months. Sorry, that's how the game works. 2, he's working overtime, like I said. So you got to set him out. So now he's working overtime to pay his children. That's 60 hours a week. That's going to burn him out. He's going to get tired of that after a while. Trust me. When them kids get older and he get more raises, oh man, if he go back to school and get his master's so he can move up the corporate ladder in the hospital, trust me, every 4 years, those mothers are going to be in that attorney general's office looking for an increase. It's just going to happen no matter what. Like I say, luckily it's every 4 years. It used to be every time it's 2 or 4 years. It used to be every time that she found out you got a raise or got a new job with more money, she can go down there and ask for it. Go down there and say, hey, he's getting more money. I want more child support. But now it's like every 2 to 4 years. So like I say, they're trying to help the dads out, a little bit. A little bit at a time. What else? Second job. If you get a second job, they're going to take out less taxes. Now, what you have to do if you get a second job, you have to let the attorney general office know. Say, hey, this is my second job. This is not my full-time job, so don't pull nothing out for child support. And they won't. You go in there and got a second job and they start taking out your check and you're like, what the hell's going on? Why? I know cats who did that. Got a second job, turned general, started taking out money out of their check, so they quit their second job. But what they should have known, and they didn't know, because ain't nobody gonna tell them, is let them know, hey, this is a part-time job, so keep your hands off this money, because this is what this check is what I'm gonna use to live off of for sure. And you can do that. Then it'll be like, say, less taxes taken out of that check. You can work as many hours as you want with your second job, and they not touch it. You understand? Like I said, and then like I said, the tax rate would be a little lower because it's a second income. It's ways to help yourself in situations like this. Because I mean, regardless, people try to say, well, you shouldn't have had these kids, this and the third. Hell, they here. No matter what he should have, could have, would have done, they here. Now, let's do what we got to do to take care of them children. And let's do what we got to do to make sure that I can take care of myself. It's simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. Like I said, I don't think he was complaining, because I probably would have went on TikTok and said the same thing. I done did videos about child support court and everything, and how that works, and how, you can help yourself, take care of your kids, and take care of yourself at the same time. I mean, it's gonna be work. You're gonna have to work overtime. You got to get a second job. Whatever he said, he's gonna go to school. You know what's he talking about going back to school? That's what he really needs. That's what he really needs to do. And I know it's hard. He said been going to school for 13 years, and I get it. Hell, I need to go back to school. I said that, but he's gonna have to make. I'm gonna say, while he's doing those 60 hours, he's gonna have to find a way to just pretty much damn near kill himself and go to school and get that degree, so he can bump his pay up, so that way he can, live a little more comfortably. But again, like I said, once he bumps his pay up, and if it's in that 4 year, was it 3? I think it's 4 years, because that's how it was. Yeah, once he hit that 4 year threshold, if it's before that 4 year threshold, he can stack them a little paper, you know what I'm saying, live a little comfortably. But then once that 4 year threshold hit, and them baby mamas go back to Attorney General's office and ask for more child support, it's gonna be more than 1,500. It's gonna be more. It's gonna, because it's saying he might be making 50, 60,000 right now. So if you go back to school and start making 80, 90, six figures, yeah, it's gonna go up. But again, it's gonna begin. But I don't think it won't be too long, because if you were married for 12 years, that means two of your kids are probably in their teens now, or close to it. Or you might got some little smaller kids. So the first two kids, they're gonna, they're gonna fall off here pretty soon. But again, if they go to college, it's gonna be like you're still gonna be paying child support for another 4-5 years after that. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Like I said, I think it was probably blown out of proportion. Everybody just wanted to, jump on them. Maybe a lot of them people were bitter because they do have baby daddies and ain't paying no child support. At least he's paying. But I mean, 5 kids, bro. Shoot, I had 2. And then after that, I said I was retired from making babies, because them son guns are expensive. You know what I'm saying? Now, I won't say that. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. You know how we do. Let's have an intelligent conversation. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out of your day, but it means the world to us here at this channel. And with that being said, I leave you in peace and love, and I'll see you on the other side.